Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel and another episode of the Arsenal Show. Let's play the intro and then get right into it. Yes, hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Arsenal Show. And look, there's guests. It's not just me on my own. There's people in live and living colour. As always, we have got Melvyn. Melvyn, how are you?
Right, thanks. Good evening, all.
It's good to see you. And we've also got Neil, most dangerous Arsenal fan alive. Shah.
Oh, don't
how
you
are
start. Yeah, I'm well, thank you. How are you both? All right?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, I
Thanks.
can't complain.
Thanks for having me on, as always.
Oh, anytime, anytime. I know when the bat signal goes up for you both, you very rarely say no. So I am very grateful that you are both here. But going into it, obviously, big week again, like most weeks now at Arsenal. Everything's a big week these days, it seems. And got the two games just quickly to mull over and then another one before heading into the big one at the weekend. But yeah, it was Brentford in the midweek. And obviously, Arsenal come into that after a 3-0 win against Sunderland, and the gap in points between us and Man City sadly got reduced as Fulham just put up no fight whatsoever the night before. So we knew what we had to do when we got there, and we had to change the lineup. Mosquera come in for Saliba, who was out with an illness, and Hincapié come in for Calafiori, and then Gyökeres come in for Gabriel Jesus up front. Difficult game for the Arsenal. I mean, Brentford, they've only lost twice at home this season. And at the end, me personally, and I got a bit of flack for this on the Highbury squad, so this is the first question I'll throw to both of you guys, really. I'll go to Melvyn first and then you, Neil. For me, Melvyn, I said on the Highbury squad, on the balance of that game and the balance of the events of that game and how ropey Arsenal were, and to me, I thought it was our worst performance of the season. I said that's a point gained and not two dropped. A lot of people said, no, we're in a title race, so that's two dropped. And I went, look, for me, we should have got Gabriel sent off, and they should have buried at least two or three of the chances that they had. I thought that was a point gained. I thought, look, get out of there with a point and go into that game against Wigan and, you know, bless yourselves that you're not coming out of this with a loss. But what about yourself?
Well, I thought very fortunate to get a point, but you need luck to win titles unless you're really, really that good and no one's near you. You do need luck. Margins are so tight nowadays. We didn't have, not that we deserved the luck on that night, but we didn't have the luck because I thought Martinelli could have done better with that last chance. Had he gone with it with his left foot and hit it straight away instead of manoeuvring his body, the goalie wouldn't have been anywhere near him. And he could and should have, in my opinion, scored. I'm not blaming him, we didn't win. We didn't win because for a team that's got such a great defence, close brackets, we seem to panic. Why do we panic when we've got this great defence? I'm talking about kicking the ball out anywhere. And also, you could tell they were going to score from a corner or throw-on. Why were we giving away throw-ons 2 yards from a corner flag? When we went to kick it, instead of taking our time and kicking it, give it back to their centre half. They're not going to do anything with it because then we can move out and they ain't going to get through us. No, we kick it straight out of touch every time. Panic, panic, panic. And we fell for it and they got the point. And we could have, last 10 minutes, apart from the Martinelli chance, there's only going to be one winner.
Yeah, and going over to you, Neil, obviously, Melvyn makes some great points there. The one thing that we knew about Brentford before this game was how good they are at free kicks and how they are at throw-ins, a bit like how we're very prominent at set pieces. And we just kept giving them to them. We were like, do you know what? Have more free kicks, have more throw-ins. It was like all the, people say that Arteta, there was a very popular member of the YouTube and the podcast and the community that was with Albert on his channel the other day, friend of mine and Melvin's and what have you, and he said that he's had a player come to him and go, look, it's difficult. We love being here, we love playing here, but he is a difficult. And he said sometimes it's paralysis by analysis, and I'm like, well, did you not drill into him? Maybe go easy on the fouls around the edge of the box and easy on the throw-ins, boys.
No, I mean, I think Brentford is always going to be a tricky game anyway, away. And normally, under normal circumstances, a point away there is actually a good point. I watching the game, two things sprung to mind. Firstly, when we take the lead, we seem to have a lull, and we don't seem to kill off games as we should do as champions elect. That's the thing that infuriates me the most. When you look at the form sides or the championship winning sides of City and Liverpool in recent years, as soon as they would have killed a lot of the games that we just don't. They would have just killed them off, and we either scrape by or we drop a couple of points, and that's telling, really. You made a very good point a few months ago, James. You said there's that old adage, which is true, absolutely 100% true, that if you're not playing well but can find a way to win, that's the mark of a champion. That is correct. But you can't do that the whole season. You might be doing that, as you said, James, near the end where the nerves are high, the pressure's on, and if you can get away with playing like that and still win, that's great. But not to have that kind of mentality or that kind of approach to a game, it's not going to see it through. It's just not sustainable. And I think the other thing is, you mentioned that Gabriel could have been sent off, should have been sent off. Well, Rare could have put us in a lot of trouble as well at one point. He just rolled the ball away and gave it to one of their players. And it was only he redeemed himself with an amazing save. But that could have been another opportunity. Like you said, there was many opportunities for them. Yes, we had a few here and there. Martinelli should have finished off that one. And by the way, from that, what you mentioned there, Melvyn, I thought that was great work from Guy Carrez as well, to the build-up of that particular chance, because he held up the ball very well with his strength, which is a mark of what he can do. But it's just, I just find that they're not killing games off. That's my problem with them. And if you want my honest opinion, I thought we were lucky to get a point.
Yeah. No, that's. I'm glad that you agree with me on here, because I was getting a few pelters on Highbury Squad for having that opinion. But no, for me, 9 out of the last 13 in the league have been goalless in the first half. Like you said there, Neil, 22nd minute, they had a big moment. David Raya trying to throw the ball out quick to Rice, gets in, crossing from Thiago, but he makes up for it. Good save from the error. But then we didn't really create much in that first half, and neither did they. I mean, the big chance that I can remember for us was the one that Gabriel just from a corner went off his shoulder. He didn't really connect with his header properly. It come off his shoulder in the end. But it was clear that Mikel Arteta was unhappy, and he made an immediate change coming off of half-time, Neil. I'll go for you for this one. Obviously, Eze hooked off here with Martin Odegaard coming on, and you could see instantly that there was a change in tempo and emphasis here from Arsenal. Just Odegaard being a bit more direct and helping us within that first 15 minutes of the second half. And what did you make of Eze? I mean, for me, again, it was another one. A lot of people to and fro on Highbury Squad about him. And I said, look, his progression of yard, and I know people were like, God, you and your stats. But I'm like, look, this is the only way I can defend it. His progression of yards in the first half for Arsenal was 6.2 metres. I'm like, that's nothing. You think of how much space is in a football game.
My belly's that long.
Yeah, I'm like, that is not the standard required for Arsenal at any point. And my dad said it to me, and you guys, you're in the same age bracket as him as well, from seeing all the years gone by. He went, James, when you're playing for titles and trophies, nobody is carried. And he went, you can't have players playing like that. So, Neil, I mean, we're going to touch on Eze a bit later on with the Wigan game, but just this one here, what did you think? Did you think it was the right thing to do, or did you think, look, let him come out second half for a bit longer? Because for me, I saw enough. He wasn't the only one that I wanted to sub at half time. I remember all of us in the chat going, I'd get 2 or 3 of them off now, because it's just not working.
Look, I'm going to pretend that we've gone back in time, because it's hard now to say what I'm going to say because of what happened in the Wigan game. Do you see? Everything that we wanted from him, I suppose, we got in that game, I guess. But yeah, at that point, I was actually asking you guys quite a few times, is he actually playing? Because I couldn't see him. I couldn't spot him. He just wasn't putting himself about, whether it's off the ball movement, whether it's he's trying to get involved, nothing at all. Ever since the North London derby, which I think was arguably his best Premier game, he's just disappeared. Whether that's because of the incident at Aston Villa where he made one mistake and he was just carted off and then that was the end of it, really, or whether there's something else going on, I don't know. He hasn't looked as happy. If you remember, up to and including the North London derby, when he was playing with a smile on his face. I've noticed in the last few games, including Wigan, by the way, there's been no smile. And I hope that's not a telling thing and it's just something I'm just seeing and it doesn't mean anything. But I said the same thing about Trossard a couple of seasons ago when he was a very angry man. So I hope there's nothing other than he's just maybe just lost a bit of self-confidence and form, and it's just not, for me, putting himself in the positions and the spaces you'd expect someone like him to do of his quality, because there's no doubt he's a great player. There's no doubt about it. He's a fantastic player. I don't want him to go anywhere, but at the same time, we are chasing a title. We cannot afford to make any mistakes. We've got City on a bit of a rampage again now. We have got to be clinical, and we cannot just think that, well, maybe he'll be better in the second half, or maybe we give him an extra 10 minutes. I think at this stage, James and Melvyn, we play our best players on form. Doesn't matter if there's others that are not quite making it. I don't think they get picked. We play our best players to their strengths. And Odegaard was the right decision for me, because you saw the pace and the whole dynamic change. We became it was almost like someone on my TV had pressed ×2. We were just moving the ball around a lot faster and with intent, and our passes were more decisive. And I thought we just gained that attacking shape back as well, which we didn't see in the first half. So no, right decision for me. And Eze, at that point in time, I completely agree with him not getting his chances because he's not doing it when he does.
Yeah, and Melvyn, what about yourself? Did you think it was harsh or the right thing to do? I mean, he did have a whole half there. He did have 45 minutes, and like I said, 6.2 meters. That's nothing.
If he wasn't taken off at half time, I'd have been knocking my head against a brick wall. To be honest with you, it was so obvious. It was so. You don't have to. You don't have to look with both eyes there. You're just listening on the radio. You can tell he's not doing anything. He was really, really poor. And you're thinking about confidence. What it might be, Neil, is that he was the main man at Palace. He was the one with the most skill. He was the one with the flair. All of a sudden, he's come into a team that there are people on his level, and I might say a bit above, but on his level with flair. And all of a sudden, it's to do with a big fish in a small pond situation. That might work its way up. The guy's got immense talent. And what he did, just very quickly on last night to give him the plus, I know we're going to talk about it later, he did a lot of good tackling back. He was fighting for the ball, which when you're 4-0 up at home to Wigan, with all due respect, some of the players may not bother, but that was good. No, I just love watching him play, but I want him to play and get the ball and do something. I don't just, there's certain players, he's one of those players that when he plays, it's like, it's fantastic. He gets bums off seats. We cannot afford any passengers. We can't afford anything. We can't afford someone to play at 70%. They got to play at 90+%. They got to play it now, players, because even years ago, you might have got away with a couple of 70 or 80%. Nowadays, the margins, as I said, are so fine. We all know that. You can't do it. You just cannot do it. And Odegaard coming on that game, I was sorry to be a bit of a downer on that. I thought he improved it no end. He was bang, bang, bang. But all of a sudden, he went missing. All of a sudden, he had a couple of easy balls to give in the last third, and he just went awry. I mean, what happened there then? You just give it to him. So, yes, the first 15 minutes, he was like, after 15 minutes, the drugs wore off, it seemed to me, with Odegaard, which is a shame. That's when you're looking for your big players to put the foot on the ball and go, come on, boys, don't let them back in. We're 1-0 up. Don't let them back in. And just as a thing to the game. We're still talking about the Brentford game. Why on earth did he take Madueke off after he just scored? I can't get my head around that. I'm sorry. It's baggy trousers to the nth degree. He wasn't carrying a knock. I mean, he was just, confidence is high. He scored a lovely header. They obviously can't handle him. He had the beating of them. Why take it? Well, you're saving him for Wigan. Not being funny. There's no excuse, is there?
No. I mean, that was the next point I was going to make. Obviously,
Oh, sorry.
61st minute. It's our first shot on target in the game. Hincapié whipped in a brilliant cross, and he found Madueke. And like you said, Melvyn, it's a striker's header. It's a fantastic header that looped in back across the goal. And he's got back-to-back goals in away games now. You know, he's in a bit of form and what have you. And I've been saying it for weeks, and I know you agree, Neil, and I know, Melvyn, we've spoken about it as well. But it just seems Arteta's adverse to doing it. I think you can keep Madueke on the right-hand side, and you can bring Saka on the left, because he clearly wanted to get Trossard off. So either if it was for Martinelli or for Saka, it was Saka. I think it was Saka, and then he brought Martinelli on later on, didn't he? But I was like, you know, play Saka on the left, Gyökeres in the middle with Madueke on the right-hand side. I agree with you. Yeah, you don't have to take him off here.
No, I sorry to jump in, but I'm still going to say it. I still think probably Martinelli is getting there, but I still think this season, if you take the season as a whole, for me, and I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but I think he's been our most exciting forward. Yes, he's not been banging in the goals.
Oh, easily. Him and Dowman have been our best two. Oh, well, exciting. Sorry, not best two, but most exciting. Yeah,
exactly. Most exciting. I think, as I said, when I'm at the ground, when he starts running at the byline or down the wing, my God, everyone gets off their seats. Not many players do that these days. In the olden days, I used to be off the seat all the time, but it does have that kind of energizing effect on the fans. And I think he's very exciting. He's very strong. He's very direct. And he can somehow just get past some players and still get a cross in or whatever it is. Okay, his conversions and scoring and everything else hasn't been what we might expect, but they're starting to come now. You know, two away, as you said, back to back. He scored again in the FA Cup. His confidence is going to be high, and I can't understand why. Where, let's be honest, Saka and Odegaard are both a shadow of who they were. Both of them. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I think Saka's dropped considerably, and also Odegaard as well. Melvin's absolutely spot on. He was great for the first 15 minutes, and then he just dwindled away. And that's our captain. And that's another thing. He's our captain. I don't agree with it. I don't care if I get pilters for this. I think Gabriel or Rice should be captain, not him. And I still will say, till I'm blue in the face, if you take that captaincy away from Odegaard, it will improve him as a player. I think it's having a little bit of baggage on him. It's holding him down a bit. I believe that because I've seen it in other sports where a really good player becomes a captain and their form just goes. I'm not saying that's the only reason, but I think it could help him. But look, that's a discussion for another day, and maybe in the summer it will be evaluated. I don't know. But the point is, I think Madueke is a tremendous player. I think he is the one that I would rather see more of at the moment, if that makes sense.
Well, that's the thing, Neil. You say about that there. I know from talking to you, you've always said to me, Tony Adams was your favourite ever Arsenal player. Tony Adams was, Terry Venable's choice for England captain in '96 in the Euros. We got to the semi, nearly won it. And then Glenn Hoddle come in, took it off Tony Adams, gave it to Shearer. But I think Tony Adams still played for England up until at least the 2000s, maybe 2001. And it did. He never put in a bad performance. He was still the same Tony. Maybe not just because he didn't have an armband on, didn't mean that Tony Adams weren't as influential. And I think I can see what. I think taking it off Odegaard relieves a bit of pressure. Melvyn, go ahead.
Just to say that I agree with what Neil said, but you're saying about Tony Adams, I think they're two completely different players, completely different characters. It can go two ways. It can go the way I think it probably will do, what Neil said. It'll take the pressure off him, or he'll have his head down, or I'm a failure. Taking the captaincy away from me. But I think, Neil, you're probably right. I think it will improve his game. If he's a strong enough character, just to say, you know what, is for the better, it's for the
Yeah.
team, it would be fine.
I know we're digressing, but just to point another point, if you look at our matches and then you look at all the post-match interviews, how many times has he come up as captain? This is what Aubameyang used to do. Aubameyang would suddenly appear when we won, but then he'd never be anywhere in sight. Who's appearing more in these interviews? Rice is appearing. Maybe Martinelli's appearing. Gabriel's appearing. Where is he? He's our captain. I want him at the interview.
Yeah,
He's the captain. He's the one that's representing the club.
The thing as well
is he a fair weather captain, Neil? Is that what you're saying?
Well, the thing is where he's been completely ineffective. He's not scored goals. He's not got assists. He's not dominated or run games. The media people are going to tend to interview the goal scorer or whoever got man of the match. And like you said, Neil, he's dropped off. So he's not putting himself anywhere near a man of the match level with anything he's doing. So they're like, well, yeah, we can interview you because you're the captain, but you've done that. You know, we ain't got a goal to show you. We ain't got a bit of play to show you that you can talk over. Rice is doing all that. Zubamendi's doing it. That's why they're interviewing them. Yeah,
I think that's a great point. Actually, I didn't think of that. But what about the draws and what about the couple of losses we've had?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, you should always weed him out.
Losses. With losses, it's the captain normally comes on with losses because he's not going to be man in a. If you lose, you're not going to be man in a match, are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, spot on. And again, you guys mentioned it earlier, and we'll just quickly run through this before we do the last bit. But again, just always dropping off after we scored a goal. You mentioned it earlier, Melvyn, and funny enough, we have a warning from the player who did score against us, Lewis Potter. He's unmarked from a corner, and he has a header that he should score that he hit wide, and it's Odegaard that's marking him and not picking him up on that corner. So you're thinking, right, that's a warning. You know, check him for the next one that we have. But before that, again, great chance, blistering run from Odegaard, gives it to Declan Rice. All of us are at home going, wrap your foot round that, make that 2-0. And he passed it to Gyökeres. It proves that he is human because normally he's been superhuman all season. And I'm just like, why have you? I sat there and went, what has gone through your head to pass to him there?
Yes, yeah.
Because it's not like Gyökeres needs a goal at the moment. He was on a good run. I'm like, be selfish, wrap your feet through that.
But we're not. That's the problem. We are so intent on this. I think this is a hangover from Wenger's era. To be fair, we just have this habit, this culture of having to walk the ball in the net all the time, find that extra pass, make it a little bit more prettier. You know, sprinkle the I don't know whatever you sprinkle on top of your cake just to finish it off. It's that kind of thing. I think we don't do enough of. I think I mentioned it on maybe another pod. I can't remember when you were on, James. I don't know. We don't do enough of just having a shot because you never know. You could get that deflection, an own goal. I don't care how the goal goes in. We're chasing the title. I'm not interested in pretty. Just get the ball in the bloody net.
Down with rain. You just want that ball to slip anything. Yeah.
You know, Melvyn probably knows players that used to do it back in the day. I remember particularly Parlour was very good at having just get your laces, just shoot, just have a shot. It doesn't matter if it's 20 yards over the bar or whatever. Just get a shot on because it kind of gives the opposition the message that we're having a go as well, rather than this 1-2, oh, we lost the ball all the time. It's something different. It adds something, another dimension to the game. You know, Ramsey was one. He used to have a go as well. Get a player that does that a little bit. You know, we can mix it up. And there we have and ironically, it's Odegaard that's probably the best at doing it.
Well, I would have thought that if you'd have said to me an Arsenal player's through on goal, got a great chance to score, and then passes it to someone else, my initial reaction would have been, what was it, Odegaard? Not if you and I would have gone through all the players. Oh, was it him? Was it him? You know, my last one would have been Rice. My last ever one.
Yep.
With some buts. That's why it's so close, this title.
Yeah.
It's fine margins, like we said. That's what it is, I'm afraid.
Definitely. And sadly, when you muck around with your dinner, Brentford eventually get the equaliser. It's a long throw that we all talked about, and it's Lewis Potter again, the same player that I mentioned beforehand, and it gets flicked on from Van der Berg, and then he makes it 1-1. And like you said there, Neil, earlier about Saka and Odegaard dropping off. Saka's too lazy in the build-up and gives the throw away. And then Odegaard in the box for me. I know he got hurt and everything. I thought he's staying on the ground there because he's embarrassed, because he knows I was like, you're laying on the floor there for as much as you can.
He didn't want it. He did not
No,
want it.
exactly. And I know after the game he was limping back onto the bus and everything, and he missed the game against Wigan with an injury. But I went, you're trying to save face as well because you knew you.
Excuse me, who's our
bottled out
captain? Who's our captain?
Exactly.
Right.
Neil,
That's a prime example.
Sorry. Both things can be correct at the same time. He could have been injured and he could have bottled it. Both things could be true, and I think they were possibly both true. But I was thinking as well. Do you think our goalkeeper should have been a bit more proactive in their throw-ons, like come off the line a bit?
Yeah,
they done pressure on them.
They done to us what we've done to other teams. Melvyn, that Vanderberg used to play for Liverpool. He's a big lump. He's a massive. I mean, most of their teams are massive geezers. Most of them. That's why they go direct like this, because they're going to score goals from them because they're bigger than everybody else. But you know how we have Gabriel sometimes, or Saliba, or Ben White, or what have you, and they're sort of like, they're not holding, but you know, like in American football where it's like block the other runners and then Gabriel will just come from out of nowhere, smash, and you're like, oh, for God's sake, how did he get through?
We can't complain then. We can't complain.
No, exactly. But that was the thing. I was just like, you, Raya, have been in that club, in that system. So you must know what that setup's going to be like before it happens. Because there were times for me where Zubimendi, and I know he's got a very good leap in the air, and so's Timber, but I'm like, why are you putting the small ones on these big giant? I was like, at times I was like, Zubimendi should not be trying to grapple this guy in the box because it ain't going to happen. It was like, there's David versus Goliath, and then there's this. I was like, this is bigger than David versus Goliath.
Do you know what? I think, just as a summary, I know you're probably not there yet, but I just want to say, for me, I got in the impression that they were nervous and they were almost a little bit fearful, our players. I really believe that. I think maybe the pressure had got to them. They knew that there was a chance to extend the gap or restore it to 6 points. It could so easily have been 9 if Liverpool had done what they should have done, and they didn't. But we can't worry about what the other teams are doing. We've got to worry about us and focus on us. And I sometimes got the feeling that this isn't the team. This isn't the team that, for me, has changed drastically in respect to this one thing. Whereas before we were quite small, and I'm not saying we were weak, or no athlete at that level is weak, but we were very easily bullied off the ball. And these last 2 or 3 seasons, we have got these big lumps in now ourselves. And like I say, it's almost like we are now the bullies. The bullied have now become the bullies. And I felt that I didn't see that against Brentford. I felt that they were the ones dictating the physicality of the game. And we were almost going into our shell a little bit. I could be wrong, but that's how I saw it. And I think this is the point I made earlier about, we got that goal then we didn't capitalise on it. We should have become even stronger in our mindset. And almost like that makes a lot of difference. Just that mentality makes so much difference to someone in terms of what their physical output is going to be. And we just held back again. Michael goes on about it over and over again. We score a goal and we just sit back. It's almost as if, our job's done. No, it's not. You've got to kill games.
Does that come from the players on the pitch, or does it come from the management? Because I'll tell you, the worst one we've done all season, the worst one, in my opinion, that really hurt me more than the Brentford one, it was horrible to watch, was Sunderland away. They were the big team. No one could get near them at their place. We're 1-0 down. Second half, we come out all guns blazing. We tore them one. We're 2-1 up. You can see their heads are down. So what do? We retreat 30 yards and say, come on, try and score. That is the worst one out of the lot. You're on mute, Neil. Neil, you're on mute, mate.
No, I don't want to interrupt you. I'm saying, yes, you're absolutely spot on. Sorry. That was the worst.
Yeah, and I mean, nothing really transpired after that until we got to injury time, and that just become pure chaos. Like Arteta said, obviously Thiago has 2 great chances. The first one, Mosquera goes from being a 0 to an absolute hero within seconds. It's one of the best recoveries.
What a block.
Yeah. I just was like, do you know what? Credit to you, pal, because the minute he nutmegged him, I thought game over, because this is next to Haaland, and I mean, if you go by the statistics of the strike rates and the games per goal and whatever, he's actually got a better rate than Haaland. He's just got less goals. But yeah, and that was just unbelievable from him. It was such, like you said, such a good recovery and a block there. And then you got the other one that he smashes over the bar after Gabriel. Again, he just too tight. Jack mentioned it in the WhatsApp. He just like, why are you getting so touch tight to this guy? Because he's going to roll you. He's quick. You know, he might not be as strong as you, Gabriel, but he's quicker. So he's going to roll you, and then you're not going to win the foot race. And
Do
then,
they play together for Brazil, James?
Melvyn, if he's not called up instead of Richarlison, who normally plays up for him, then Ancelotti for me is one of the best club managers or just overall managers of my generation from when I've been watching. So if Ancelotti is not picking him and still picking Richarlison, I think we need Ancelotti's water tested, his food tested a lot, because I don't know how.
The point I was going to make then, if they haven't played, but if they have played together, our man should know a little bit about him, the way he plays. Gabriel should know what he does and not be not be spun. Anyway,
Definitely. And then you guys mentioned it earlier, but we have the great chance from Martinelli and Neil. You're right. Gyökeres, brilliant. Timber. Maybe Timber could have gone on his own, but obviously, he's a fullback, so he's thinking, give it to me, winger.
He ran out of puff, in my opinion. He looked like.
Could be as well.
I think, we go on about, the amount of minutes that Rice, Zubimendi has played, but Timber as well. And I'm starting to worry about him. He's class. He's got up there as player of the season for me, without a doubt. And I think he's one of our best players, if not the best. He's fantastic at what he does. But is he being overplayed as well recently? And is he just running out, as Melvyn just said, a little bit of steam? We've got to manage these players carefully. As much as I said earlier that we need to play all our players to their strengths, our best players to their strengths, we've also got to be just a little bit careful as well with some of them, because we were in 4 competitions still, and we want to try our best in all 4. So that's down to Arteta. That's his job. That's what he gets paid the millions for.
Definitely. And then just quickly before we go into Wigan, as always, that's tradition on this channel, the man of the match graphic. For me, I said it on Highbury Squad, so I'll say it again here. I did Hincapié. I thought he was class defensively as well as offensively in this game. He made 4 tackles. He made 4 recoveries of the ball, won all of his aerial duels, and he had 92% on his passing as well. And 30 of his 39 passes that he made went into the opposition half. So we were lacking midfielders being direct and aggressive with their passing. This guy, for me, was always making himself available, always trying to do something. And we know we love Calafiori. We all love a bit of Calafiori. But Calafiori will tend to do the inversion and go down the middle. This guy, like what Tierney used to do, I go round and I put the crosses in. He's more conventional in a way, even though he's a centre-back by trade as well. He likes to get to the byline and put the ball in. And I think that benefits us, especially against teams that are like Brentford. As much as they're going to try and go direct over the top and through you, I think you just got to pummel them in the box sometimes as well. But what about you guys? Was there any? I mean, Mosquera got some flowers as well, and
I will have to agree with Itachi, but I have to say I want to give Mosquito a shout, because I don't think he's got enough credit as he should have done this season. He's come into a brand new setup, a brand new team. He's still very, very young, and all we hear about on the most, and rightly so, is about Saliba and Gabriel. But when he comes in and has to do a job, I think probably 95% of the time, if not more, he's almost flawless. He's fantastic, and I think he deserves a mention. I'm not necessarily saying he was the man of the match, but he certainly deserves a mention. I don't think he gets talked about enough. He is an amazing player. And I think, in that respect, going forward with our future, with Gabriel Saliba, I don't know how long they're going to stay and how many more years they've got together at this level. But, we got some great players in the background as well. You've got Mosquera, you've got Hitachi. They are good as well. Very, very decent and capable players when we need them to be. So I want to give him a mention.
Yeah, Melvyn, what about you? Did you have anyone different, or you concur with
Not
the rest
really.
of the group?
I mean, you say the way he runs in Cape, I reckon he runs on rails, doesn't he? Straight rails. He can't go off. I mean, he's one of the most effective footballers in our team. He just does what's needed, gets it, does what when he tackles, he's all over somebody. It's better than like Mascara. They're both similar. Like when they've got a forward next to them, they've got arms like an octopus. They're all over them with their feet, and the pair of them have been a big plus this season. I mean, Mascara's one for the future. That's what we probably bought him for, but he's for the present. So, and he can play football. The geezer can pass the ball, and he's got more confidence in giving a long ball than say. I'm not saying he's better than Saliba, but I'm saying he's more confident in hitting a long ball to a forward rather than Saliba does. Saliba likes the old pretty 1, 2, 3, and that slows us up a little bit. Again, I'm not having a go at him. I love Saliba, but I'm just saying the difference in the way they play. No, it's good defensively. That looks fantastic. Yeah, great.
Yeah, and like against Inter Milan, they've got two of the most prominent strikers in the world, and he had to come out the cold and play against them two, and then he stepped in against Iago, who, like we said, is the next. So yeah, big credit to him, and credit to Madueke as well for getting the goal. Like I said earlier, it was a really nice goal. But yeah, next one, obviously Wigan at home. We come into that one. 8 changes to the lineup: Kepa, Ben White, Saliba, Lewis Skelly, Norgard, Saka and Martinelli, and Jesus all come in. Sadly, Lewis Skelly, we all got excited thinking, oh, he's at midfield. This is going to be great. And then Calafiori gets hurt during the warm-up. But Saka got moved into midfield, which was quite exciting as well in a way. Melvyn, what did you make of that one?
I don't know if you recall, about 93 years ago, but I did say that when Saka wasn't playing particularly well, I think it might have been on this show here, that for me, he looks bored playing on the wing, and I like to see him move inside because he'll have more space. And they won't be able to bring him down so much because if he gets near the box, then he's going to be doubly dangerous. They can't do what they do to him on the wing when they give away a foul. Worst thing is a free kick. All right, I think it's terrific that he played in the middle. Perhaps it might put a light bulb in Arteta's head that, you know what, instead of playing Saka left wing, you can play Martinelli on one. What's his name? The guy Madueke on the right, and have Saka playing, all three playing. That would be terrific. You know, play anyone. I'll play centre forward, probably score. But that would be great because I think he'd be so more effective because he's not effective what he's doing at the moment, has he? I mean, he's not scoring the goals. He's not making the goals. I think that'd be a new lease of life and give him a change. Sometimes people need a change, perhaps a position. Like I said before, a change in his position will give him a new lease of life. I really think that could be the way forward for him.
Yeah, and Neil obviously pretty much won this game in the first half. First Premier League side to score 4 goals in the opening 30 minutes of an FA Cup game. The 11th minute, Eberechi Eze. We dug him out earlier, so we can praise him now. It's a killer long through ball, which is his trademark into Noni Madueke, and it was a lovely finish, weren't it? Henry-esque side foot into the bottom of the net, if I'm allowed to call it that, from Madueke. I was happy for both players. I'm like, look, Eze needed to contribute, and Madueke keeps chipping in, so I was happy for both.
Absolutely, 100%. Oh my God! So now we can talk about Eze in a very different light. It's like not the same player. This is the Eze of North London derby for me. Just everywhere, you know, very, very almost like I'm the potent force. I remember saying a few times when Partey was on form and absolutely dominant, he was one of the best players in that position, and he almost controlled the whole engine and the whole of the middle of the pitch. And I just felt that Eze was everywhere against Wigan. He was putting himself about everywhere. His awareness was so much better visually, or what he wanted to do with his passes. Everything was on point. It was incisive. It was decisive, full of intent. And I just felt that he was a different person to what I've been seeing over the last few months. It's just incredible, or at least since the North London derby. And that was one hell of a pass because he's almost got, because I think it wasn't Sakurai. There was 2 players that he could have aimed for, but he saw that. And I don't think at that point Madueke had started his run, but he anticipated it, and that's what I loved about it. It was it's the anticipation and the awareness of where Madueke is going to go. It reminded me a little bit of what Bergkamp used to do. Bergkamp used to know the pass before the other player did himself. They used to say that about him. He knew what we were going to do before we did. It's so amazing, and I thought that was just such a lovely pinpoint pass. But look, credit to Madueke as well, because that is one hell of a finish, as you said, James. It was a really lovely finish. Nothing the goalkeeper could have done about it. And to be honest, nothing the defence could have done about that either, the build-up. It was brilliant. And I while I was there, the guy next to me, I was saying, this is so good. I'm so happy for Eze. You know, this is the best I've seen him play since the North London derby. He goes, yeah, but it's only Wigan. I said, mate, it doesn't matter who it is. Yeah, it's not his fault that it's Wigan. It's still 11 professional footballers on a pitch because they're still professionals. And at the end of the day, he's still got to put himself in a position off the ball, on the ball. He's still got to do what he's got to do. He can't help who's in front of him. And I thought he was tremendous on that day. So great goal, great assist, 1-0, brilliant.
Yeah, and what I liked as well, Neil, and Mike mentioned it, shout out Mike and Arsenal above all. They're going to be on in a little while, so shout out to them. Eze, before the players went and got on to Madueke to celebrate with him, they all bundled Eze, didn't they, for the assist? And what I like about that is that that's a real collective and supportive environment within that squad and that team. And that's a credit, you know, we've said a lot there in the previous game about Mikel. I think that's a credit to Mikel and the others who've amassed this squad. But credit on them as human beings as well. It just shows, you know, they're collectively, like we said, can't carry anybody. So anytime you can contribute, that's massive. That. Especially when, you know, your form's in a bit of a downer. But Melvyn, I'll come to you first on this one. 8 minutes later, Eze finds Gabriel Martinelli, who finishes clinically for his 4th goal in the FA Cup of the season. Shows he has got a left foot after thinking we didn't have one the other night.
Yeah.
And he's the first Arsenal player to score 10 plus in the Cup/Europe for Arsenal in a single season since Ian Wright in 1994-95.
Wow. Amazing. No, but Martinelli's hot or cold, isn't he? That's the thing. You know, after 10 minutes, what type of game he's going to have. When he doesn't take on the fullback after a quarter now, you think, hold on, no, he don't. Not that he doesn't fancy. He just, for some reason, it ain't going to happen for him. Other times, he's absolutely fantastic. Away to we won 4-0 away to Leeds. That one where he skipped near the corner flag. That was superb. I know they had to go at the defender for diving in, but he still had to get there. Have the guts to try for it, got it, cut inside and centre it. No, yeah, he's very. We thought a couple of years ago he was going to be world class, Martinelli, and he's actually dropped off a little bit. It was a shame. If we had the Martinelli of 2-3 years ago, we'd be in a much better position with goals and everything else. So anyway, it's the way it is. It was, yes, it was only Wigan. But it's still, it might get the, listen, they were smiling the arms. I haven't seen them smiling after that Brentford game. They weren't smiling. It's going to get the smiles back. Now start momentum. We've got 2 enormous games coming up. Obviously, the Wolves won. There's no point ever coming on and going, well, the reason we didn't win was that shouldn't happen. It's with all due respect, it's Wolves away. If you've got any chance of thinking about anything to win anything, you've got to beat Wolves away where they are at the moment. Then it's the big one. You know, they might have another 3 managers by the time we play them, but you know, whoever the manager is, you know, we still got to do it.
Yeah.
Can I just chime in quickly? Something that you said, James, which really it reminded me of something you said a couple of weeks ago, maybe, when you talked about the way the camaraderie and the players themselves with their own hearts to go up and really give Eze the kudos of what he's done. It reminded me of when Gyökeres scored, and I'm doing his name deliberately wrong before anyone has a go at me. When he scored, and then was it after the game when Jesus and Kai, they were all together celebrating? It's almost like the forwards union, the little union that they've got, supporting each other. It just reminded me of that. It's amazing. So at least they're very good positives that we've got in the club, and long may it continue.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. And then 5 minutes after that, we have the third, and Saka, who, again, we talked about him in the midfield here. He's absolutely really influential, especially in that opening half. And he caused havoc with Madueke and Ben White on that right-hand side. And it led to Hunt from Wigan scoring an own goal, headed into his net. Really well taken cushion header. If he was, if he'd done that at the other end, he'd have been proud of that. But yeah, 6 minutes after that, Arsenal scored the fourth, and it's possibly the best of the lot. Gabriel Jesus latched onto a perfect long ball over the top. And just this week, I saw some old clips from some programs that I used to watch when I was a kid. And one of the ones I used to enjoy was a program called Dead Ringers. And it had John Coleshaw, who used to do a lot of the impressions. But Neil, I know you really like this guy. What did you make of Christian Norgard with his Perlo impression here? With the pass, and then the
I wonder
finish.
where that was going.
Yeah. I mean, Ian Wright just this week on the overlap said nobody lobs keepers anymore. Who dinks keepers? I miss people dinking keepers, and he only had to wait till yesterday, and he found it. I mean, the goalkeeper for Wigan, the lob was superb, but what about like I said, the Perlo-esque Christian Norgard ball?
Let me because I'm so happy for Norgard, whatever I call him, Noggart. But I just want to firstly touch on the finish. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. To be honest, how dare we score 4 goals from an open play for starters? How dare we? What the hell are we doing? That's disgusting. So I think we need to get reprimanded for that alone anyway within the club. So Arteta, make sure you do your thing. Get us back to set pieces and own goals, all right, mate? So that's that. The finish, I mean, obviously the own goal is the own goal, but the 3 finishes, I thought they were all great, by the way. All 3 of them were great. I think in terms of technique, Jesus' one was the best. But actually, I thought the hardest one of the 3 probably was Martinelli's because he had the most pressure on him. So all credit to all 3, but let me talk about Noggart. Oh my God, it wasn't just that pass. He done one a bit earlier as well, which then I can't remember who was it Martinelli had a chance and then Jesus tried to follow it up. That was pinpoint as well. And wasn't he involved in the second goal as well? It was like the pre-assist. I think it might have been the second goal. So he was about all game. And I love this guy. I don't think he gets enough minutes. I mean, begging for more minutes for him. I think he's strong, he's smart, and he's aware. And he's very forward-thinking, and he's very progressive, and he's quick in the sense of getting the ball forward. And he's direct. He's incisive. I keep using those words, but for me, in this particular game, they hold true. And that pass was just sublime. I don't think Jesus could have put it better with his hands if he wanted to. And it was a great touch from Jesus, and then for him to then put the ball in the net with that chip. Brilliant. But Noggart deserves so much credit for the game. For me, if you want to ask me, I'm not going to go ahead because I don't want to steal your thunder, but he was sensational for me. And I hope, please, Arteta, I'm begging you, this guy deserves more minutes. When you need to give certain players a rest, your levels are not going to drop significantly if you play this man. He's tremendous.
Yeah, and Melvyn, just quickly for you on the 4th one, anything you want to add?
No, not at all. No, brilliant. Norgard, I thought he played well all game. He was playing like a quarterback, wasn't he? Really, spraying those passes around. I mean, really, he's got some attributes playing that position that Zubimendi hasn't got. He's stronger. And you picked in it, Neil. He's much quicker in getting the ball forward. I think that's what we lack sometimes. So he would be a fantastic foil to, not foil, instead of playing Zubimendi sometimes. In certain games, I would be more than happy to play him.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. And obviously after that, the game was pretty much won in the first half. It was done and dusted, and we, rung some changes in. Gyökeres come on. Marley Salmon come on, which is always nice to see, just for the little personal connection I got there. And I thought he looked good again as well. I mean, he looked composed.
What personal connection?
Someone at my work is really close to his dad, so yeah, they know the family and what have you. So yeah, I like seeing him do well because I know obviously my friend at work, and I've met the father, and yeah, nice guy, really nice guy.
Can I just say, because the game was done and it was a training exercise really in the second half for me. when he came on, I didn't take my eyes off him. I wasn't interested in the game. I was just watching him, and I thought he's what 16 is he? Is he 16?
Yep.
For a
only 16.
16-year-old, my God, the confidence that he has just within himself, the way he was moving around, the way he was like marking the players when they're on the attack, because they did start coming forward a little bit, because we took our foot off the gas, let's be honest, and they were going to have some chances. But he was absolutely fantastic, James. So, Melvyn, James, he's another one for the future for me.
Yeah, and then
have you seen him? Have you seen him play for the youth team or whatever it is, the team below the reserves? Have you watched him?
Yeah,
He's
since
on a different level.
I found,
Silly.
Yeah,
different level.
Since I found out, obviously, that my friend at work knew him and everything, I've kept really close tabs, and we had a
You've
game.
kept the tail on him.
Yeah, wait, come on, like it.
Sorry.
No, you got to be quick on here. It always helps. But no, we played Man United, I think, in the Youth Cup last season potentially, and Rio Ferdinand said, even though Arsenal lost the game, he went, "I've seen two of the best players in this country, but they don't play for Man United." He said, "Max Dowman and this Marley Salmon." He said they are absolute, and I mean, we're not. I know, Neil, you're not the biggest Rio lover in the world. I'm not as a pundit. I respect him as hell as a player. But yeah, as a pundit, he could be very visceral and annoying, like most of the Man United lot are. But we won't give them any time here. But yeah, another debut for a young player. Arteta, who hates young players, gave another. I mean, changing the goalkeeper, I always think, woo, steady on. The only time that's ever worked for me was when Louis van Gaal took the goalkeeper off and brought the Tim Krul on for the penalties, didn't he, for that World Cup game? That's the only time I've seen it.
Arteta might have done the same thing last night. You don't know.
Yeah, true. But I mean, he done the right thing. His first action's that set piece. He come and claimed the ball and then laid on it, wasted a bit of time. I'm like, good goalkeeper. He's done his job. And again, there as well, there was a lovely moment where Kepa, when he was coming off, embraced it and was just like, look, go out there and have this, enjoy yourself. And he's, clean sheet on his debut. He can't moan.
But like that.
just to wrap this one up as well, like we do. Got the man of the match for this one, and I know, Neil, you said don't steal my thunder, but you can come in a sec. It's got to be this guy, innit? It's got to be Christian Norgard.
That's amazing.
Absolutely immense for me. Got an assist, 89% on his passing, 2 interceptions, 2 clearances, 6 recoveries of the ball. Just mature and dominant from him. And I think every time he's been called upon this year, he's been absolutely class. And I'm with you, Neil. I hope he gets played more. And I tell you what as well, all these players love him and they respect him. And after the game, I don't know if you guys have seen it, he gave such a good interview.
You said
such a good interview. And I was just like, if we can sign more Norgards in the future, more people with that sort of spirit, because they said to him about, you're not getting as much minutes, you must be really, and he went, whoa. He said, when I signed here, I got a Euro winner and I got Declan Rice. So he went, I knew when I was coming in, I might not start every single week.
Wow.
But he was just like, it's an honour. It's a privilege.
Oh, I love him.
He said to go in there every day and see how hard these work. And I mean, Trossard earlier in the week had an interview and they said, who's the hardest worker? Who's the hardest trainer?
Okay.
And he said, Norgard sets the benchmark for everybody in that team.
Wow.
He's like, he's first in, he's last out. He's like, arm around them if they need it. And he said he's making all the young players better. And I don't know, Pep Guardiola, when he went into City, started a little, and at Barca and what have you, he had a little learning tree, like he got from Cruyff, where he had players and they've all started to become managers. Xavi went and become a manager. Vincent Kompany. He had people around in these teams that are all becoming managers. And I'm like, Arteta's got a bit of that about him. Oxlade-Chamberlain, okay, he signed for Celtic, but he was doing his coaching badges. And Hines and him have both said, when he's finished as a player, he's coming straight back in here with us because what he gave to that academy was vital.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, they've said already, they're like, he's going to be a brilliant manager one day,
Wow.
Oxlade-Chamberlain. They're like, and I've always, I don't know what it was, when we signed all them players from Southampton back in the day, whenever they did interviews, because apparently they were very strict on having their players be media trained at the time.
Right.
And I always thought whenever him or Callum Chambers spoke,
Pretty good.
you were like, oh my, how articulate are these young men? You were like, these seem like seasoned pros. You know, if I was 17, 18 playing for Arsenal and I'm scoring or I'm helping them keep clean sheets or everything, I'm going to be buzzing in it. I'm not going to be composed in an interview. But them two were just the cool as a cucumber, and I still think they are now.
Yeah.
You know, he's married to one of the biggest pop stars in the country. He's got no real ego about it. He just goes about his life and his day, Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think he's a very, very calm and collected man. But no, obviously flowers to Eze and Medwecki and Saka and Jesus as well. But is there any argument for man of the match from either of you two? I don't think there will be, but I'm here for it if you want to.
I don't know why I was thinking, is he going to put Eze there? Is he going to, and it wouldn't have been wrong to do that either. But I thought if he does that, I'm definitely going to say, well, for me, it's him or Nogger. And I'm so glad he went for my man there. As much as I'm so happy for Eze, and I hope it's given him the confidence to carry on forward in that vein now. We want to see the Wigan Eze and the North London Derby Eze now for all the rest of the matches when he plays. I'm so thrilled for Nogger, and I hope he carries on and gets the minutes because he deserves them. So for me, I don't disagree with that at all.
Brilliant. Melvyn, yourself?
Yeah, a couple of things. First of all, forgot with the Southampton link, Walcott. Okay,
yes.
He's good.
Yes.
Youngster, and he's
a great pundit as well. Do you know what? He's one of the few even our players can be even our ex-players can be bad pundits, but him and Keown have been brilliant.
Yeah, I would give it to Christian Slippers Norgard. I'd give it to.
yeah, definitely. And just before we wrap up, we got Wolves next in the league. As always, they're must win every single one of them. I do my lineup like we normally do on these shows, so I'll chuck it up here, and you guys can come in. And then after that, I got 4 little quick fire questions, and we will hopefully wrap up before 2:15, so you won't miss any of Arsenal above all, because I don't want to clash with them. But here's the lineup that I've gone for.
Yes, I do like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I like it. Saka in midfield again. I hope you're right. I hope it happens. I can't disagree with any of that.
Love it. I think that's great.
He'll be
the only thing is with Wolves, are they a physical team, Neil? Do you know, or
what's that? Sorry,
are they physical?
They're
not a physical team, are they?
They'll play physical against us, but do you know what?
Yeah.
Madwecki, Martinelli, and Gyökeres played up front together. I can't remember the game. I'm really sorry, and it didn't work. But I'm like, now for me, Neil, and you made a great point earlier where you said at this time play everybody that's on form, and I'm like, them 3 for me are our best 3 forwards at the moment.
Yeah,
so that's
100%.
why I want to see them. And I want to see as much as they got 2 assists at the weekend, I wouldn't begrudge him going, you know what, Eze, you're going left. You're playing left instead of Martinelli and Trossard. I wouldn't mind that. But I'm like, please keep Saka. Even if Odegaard is fit, please keep Saka. Because 100%. If you put Saka ahead of Madwecki now, after he's been banging goals in, he's your most informed forward for goals and assists in recent weeks. Yeah. That's a piss take, in my opinion. I'm like, leave Madwecki in there. Leave him alone and leave him where he is.
I'll be fuming if he's not playing. I'll be absolutely fuming.
He's a starter. When we first signed him, he was never going to be a starter. But one point, why I asked are they physical? Because perhaps this is the game when you put Norgard instead of Zubamendi in the midfield, if they're a physical team.
I wouldn't begrudge it.
No, neither me. I agree with that. Can I just say, James, are you starting to do what I do with the nicknames? Because I like the one you've done with Timber, called him Timer.
Have I? Oh, I have as well. Oh,
I thought it was deliberate.
No.
I thought it was deliberate.
Oh,
I don't want to name it shame. I thought that's deliberate. I like it.
Well, I always said that I put the sex in dyslexia, so there you go.
Bless you.
But yeah, just quickly, the quick fire one. We got 10 minutes before they go live, so by all means, I'll go to you first, Neil. Oh, do you know what? I've messed up again. It's only 3 questions, not 4. That's even better.
Oh no!
Pick a number between 1 and 1 and 3
Oh,
nil.
don't
Go
you
ahead.
start doing.
No, I'm not doing a deal or no deal. I'm not that cool.
Oh,
But
God.
pick a number between 1 and 3 nil. Go ahead,
Well,
my friend.
I love what Mosquito did, so I'm going 3.
Okay, so obviously Mansfield in the next round of the FA
Yeah.
Cup.
Yeah.
You've seen the other teams that are in it have got quite a hard one. So that's the first time we're in the 5th round of the FA Cup. For first time in 6 years.
That's
We're leading.
amazing. That's amazing
Yeah,
stat.
I know. We're leading the title race. We're in the League Cup final, and we're in the next round of Europe. I think Arsenal have the best squad player-wise in England and one of the best squad player-wise in Europe. But do we have the best squad mentality?
I have to be honest and say no.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, there's some of the games that we drop points in we wouldn't have. That's brutally honest. We should have. There's no reason why we shouldn't have. And they should all be geeing themselves up. But as I said, even in that Brentford game, I smelled a bit of fear and nervousness and trepidation as well. And if we had a good squad mentality, I don't think we'd have that. If you look back as recently as the Invincible squad, they went into every game saying we're going to win. There was not even any talk about a draw. They said we are winning every single football match we play. That is the mentality.
We won games in the tunnel, Neil.
Well, there you go.
We won games in the tunnel.
Well,
let's be honest.
For me, the Invincible squad was my when Mike Tyson was at his best. He had already won the fight before he even got into the ring, and that's what we were doing with football matches when we were the Invincibles. So, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but no, I don't think we have.
Yeah, Melvyn, 1 or 2, my friend.
It's got to be 2.
Okay, so Martinelli has 10 in the FA Cup and the Champions League, but only 1 in the Premier League. I put him in my lineup for Wolves, but do you think that he's more of a flat track bully for open spaces and one-off cup games, or do you think he deserves to go back in the league now?
No, I think he loves spaces, doesn't he? Because uses speed. That's what I think.
Yeah. So you're Eze Trossard for you on the wing on
yeah
against Wolves. Yeah, no worries. No, don't blame you at all.
And then bring him on. Don't bring him on with 10 minutes to go, James. Bring him on with 20 minutes to go. If the defence look a bit tired, or even if they're not looking tired, they probably are. Because you don't want him running at you with 20 minutes to go. 10 minutes, you might be able to handle it.
Yeah. It's funny because doing the prep for all this, I changed that lineup about 3 times because I thought to myself, wait a minute, no, he got 2 yellow cards in the space of a second at Wolves, didn't he? I'm like, he's probably got PTSD at Molineux. He probably don't want to, if there's someone who don't like listening to Led Zeppelin, it's him, innit? He don't want to go up to Molineux. But yeah, that just obviously leaves question number 1. And Neil, you'll like this one as well. Calafiori, another injury.
Oh.
Is his lack of ability becoming a liability?
Lack of ability.
Lack of availability.
Oh, God, yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. I love the guy. He's a maverick when he's on the pitch, and I think as good as Hitachi is in doing what he does in an orthodox way, I think Calafiori makes up for his. I'm everywhere but that position. I love him as a player when he's on full form, when he's at his best. Again, I think he's one of the most attractive footballers to watch. But he's also very confident when he's on the ball. He's not one of these that I could do this and then I made a mistake. I think he can be, and this is when he's on full form, by the way, because everyone makes mistakes. I think his lack of availability is his liability, and I'm worried. Like I'm very worried about Kai as well.
Yeah, Melvyn, yourself with Calafiori?
He gets injured a lot in the warm-up. Does he do rock climbing or something in the warm-up?
Yeah. Well,
wouldn't surprise me, Melvyn.
Look, I've seen the adverts he's doing, and of course,
the body.
He's 10 times the man I'll ever be. But he's doing them in. These are very, very little pants that he's putting on, and they look like a struggle to get in. And I'm like, is he tearing his legs trying to fit into these little pants?
Can I just say, it's all about context. It might be not small pants. It might be the reverse.
Yeah, that's a point. Funny enough, I've had one of my family members just WhatsApp me going, 4th question, so you can have 4 questions. They went, is the quad on? I don't have to ask Neil. I know Neil's answer.
No. No.
He reckons it's on for the next 10 years. We're going to keep doing it.
No, not for me. We're not that good. Let's be honest. We're not as good when we win 3 games in a row. The critics say we're wonderful, the ones that don't bitch about us. We're not as good as they think we are. And when we're bad, we're not as bad as the critics think we are. But I don't believe we're good. We're not that level. I've seen teams at that level that could do it and don't do it, and we're not that level.
We have to win one of the big
I know mathematically we can do it, but I'm looking at the graphs. I'm not looking at the figures.
No, Melvin's sensible. He's been pragmatic. He's sensible. But for me, Melvin, we have to win one of the big 2 this season.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Simple as
I agree. No, not 4. No, we're not in that league yet. Well, I hope it was,
And then just quickly before we wrap up,
predictions.
I've got this one.
Oh
No, there's that as well if you want to. But I just got this one here from Stephen, friend of the show, and he's put Neil is like Merson with how he pronounced his name.
Deliberately, Stephen.
I saw that before. Brilliant.
But just predictions for Wolves, Neil. What are you thinking?
Oh mate, I'm sorry, I can't do anything but win because we have to win. But it is not going to be easy. Not going to be Eze. 2-0.
Yeah, who's scoring?
Do you know I'm going to go out on a real weird limb here? I'm going to say Itachi scoring his first goal.
Brilliant, love it. Melvin?
So I'm going to start my thunder 2-0. I was going to go for. Stay with it, 2-0.
And your scorer?
Gyökeres.
Come on.
I'm going to go 2-0 as well. I'll complete the set, and I'm going to go for Jurian Timer. I'm going to say Timer.
I love it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Probably set piece, but Timer's going to score a header. So
get in there.
And talking of Timer, great timing because we're 2 minutes before Mike's show begins, so everyone can head over there and join in on that one. But yes, thank you very much both. Just quickly, Melvin, if people, and I mean they should because you've been brilliant as always, where can people go if they want to listen to you more, read more about you, see more about you even?
Well, I'm basically on X really, and this show is the main one I'm on at the moment, and there's
Thanks.
That's the main one at the moment. This one, yeah.
Absolutely.
There is one
You
I'm
don't have to
going
be so
to.
modest, you actor, you. Don't be so modest. Come on.
Oh yes.
Plug yourself.
Neil.
There you go. See?
I've got my dress rehearsal tomorrow night.
Fantastic.
So
Love it.
I'll still be more nervous against Wolves, all right?
Yeah, won't we all? And yourself, Neil. Obviously, you're like me. You're here, there, and everywhere. But
I'm just in the shadows, mate. That's it. If you look in the shadows, you'll find me.
Brilliant performance as always. But no, thanks very much. There was a lot of people in the chat earlier. I think it's this new thing where they're putting it up on a mobile feed as well as the
I don't understand it.
There was a few people where I'm like, I don't know what you're going on about, so I'm not going to put your comments up. I appreciate you coming in here, but you were talking a lot of waffle. I'm afraid some of it was more waffle than Captain Birdseye, but yeah. Oh, there you go. You got another podcast lined up with Steve. He does the theatre and what have you podcast, don't he?
Oh,
so,
brilliant, Melvin! Look at that.
There you go, Melvin.
Oh, yeah,
you got a guest. Yeah, there you are. You got you another one lined up.
I've got to buy some more makeup because it's all coming off. Showing me age, you know.
Brilliant. But no, thank you so much, everybody. Take care, and thanks again, you two, for coming on. And yeah. Big win on Wednesday, and then hopefully we can get back before the derby. That would be fun, wouldn't it?